Hey cuties, I'm Lanikia and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is General Hospital Edition. All right, guys, let's get into it. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give this one like a 7, 7.5. It wasn't bad. Today is Monday, November the 7th, 2022. I hope you guys had a great weekend or are having a nice start to your week. Let's just jump right on into this. We see Sunny and Nina. Okay, like so we see Sunny and Nina and they are enjoying their time in the park. She tells him, and listen, I'm going to cut to the chase. She tells him, if you need me to, I will back off. Like because she said, I know you got a lot going on with Carly, and I know everybody in your family, they still don't like me. So if you need me to back off, I'll back off. And he said, no, there's no need for that. Plus, he's like, Carly's, doing her own thing with Drew, so they got it. So it's nothing. And I'm like, absolutely. So they're just like, okay, let's move on. So then we see Terry and Elizabeth come home, and Cam comes in, and he says, "Oh, I wasn't expecting y'all until tomorrow." And how was your trip? And she tells her the trip was cool. And then she says, "What are you doing here?" And he said, "Oh, I forgot a book. I'm actually going to go grab it." So that gives Elizabeth and Terry time to talk. And she says, "Oh my gosh, my parents are so, you know, they'll do anything to protect their image. Like they pretty much uh drugged me up and sent me on my way." So she's disappointed in how her parents, did the whole situation in regards to her dad's affair. She said they were willing to cover up their secret, that they didn't talk to me for 25 years. They try to brainwash me, put me on drugs, and just send me on my way. And I said, they did. And so Terry says, you have to talk to Finn about this. And Elizabeth doesn't want to. She's like, I don't even know what I'm going to stay with this man. Well, anyways, Terry ends up having to leave. So Cam comes back down. And did y'all see when Elizabeth was talking to Cam, it was like she was out of it. I know she's distracted, but she was talking to him, and I'm like, ma'am, he is still talking. But anyway, so they're talking to each other, and he's telling her, hey, I wanted to let you know. He said, Finn said he wasn't going to tell. It was my responsibility. He said, but I do want to let you know that Jocelyn spent the night. And she was like, well, I'm glad you told me, because, she wants an open relationship. She wants an open relationship with her children that she didn't have with her family. So she was like, I'm glad you told me. And he was like, okay, cool. And then he says there's something else. Because he says he and Jocelyn have grown closer. I said, baby, no, you haven't. But he says there's something else. Jordan thinks that the attacks have to do with Trina. So Sonny has guards, protecting the house. And they're just concerned. Like they're thinking that, anybody who was connected to Trina, that's who the hook killer is after. And so Elizabeth's like, oh my gosh, I'm never leaving town again. And she does end up telling Cam that she went to see her parents, and that it wasn't a great meet. She learned some things, but some people just are not meant to be in your lives, and he understands that. But anyways, that's it with them, y'all. We're gonna move on. So then we see Heather Weber and Finn, and she said, yeah. She started talking to Finn about, she was making like some sexual innuendos, and he was like, what you talking about? She said, this is the great thing about being everybody think you crazy. You can say whatever you want, and people just be like, oh, she's just crazy. I was like, what are you doing? And she said, but I do know that you wanted to know more about Elizabeth's pops. And she said, but I'll tell you this. She said, because I'll be willing to tell you anything for a price. He said, I'm not paying you. I'm not negotiating with you. And she said, well, listen, I'll just tell you this. He's the type of man that he wants you to believe that he is this great guy. He will protect his image at all costs. And she pretty much said exactly what he did to Elizabeth. He'll gaslight you if that's what needs to be done. So that you think, oh my gosh, it's me. I did something, it's me. I did it, even though it was him the whole time. So she's trying to tell Finn what's been going on, because I feel like she knows. But Finn is just like, he sees Valentine, and so he don't have no more time for Heather. So then we see Michael and Willow. So Michael and Willow are talking in the park, and he said, "I'm sorry I missed your appointment yesterday." She said, "No, it's fine. We can go to this one, and let's just enjoy this moment right now before everything ends or turns upside down." He was like, "What do you mean by that?" And I said, "Michael, why don't you stop missing appointments and go, and you would know exactly what this girl means." So they continue to talk, and then TJ shows up. And so Michael, of course, he has a phone call, so he leaves TJ and Willow to themselves. And so she tells him that they're about to have another meeting with Terry, and he says, "You got to tell Michael." She says, "I am going to tell him after this meeting with Terry." And I said, "Well, wouldn't he find out during the meeting with Terry?" Okay, never mind. And so she said, "Yes, I'm going to tell him and everything." So they're hugging as always, like, and here come Nina and Sonny. So Nina and Sonny come up, right? And and they're like, "What's going on?" And well, you know already what Nina thinking. And Wiley sees Nina and Sonny. He's like, "Grandpa, Nina!" And he runs up to him, and Willow stops him, and she says, "No, no, no. We don't have time for this," because they had been down. And Nina says, "Okay, Sonny, let's go." And he's like, "Really, Willow?" He was like, he wants to see us. And she says, "You can see Sonny this weekend alone when he has time." If he has time this weekend. And Sonny's just like, "Really?" And Nina's like, "No, let's not make a big deal. Come on." And TJ fades to the back. And then Michael comes through. "What's going on here?" And so Sonny and Nina, they just leave. And Michael said, "What was going on?" And Willow said, "It was nothing. Surprisingly, Nina knew her place." I can't stand Willow. I'm sorry, I cannot stand Willow because she don't know her place. Because if she did, she wouldn't be having all these secret meetings with TJ, and she would tell her husband what is going on with her. But anyways, so then the babysitter gonna be late, of course. Like at this point, go ahead and put TJ and Willow together. Like, go ahead and let them have this emotional affair that y'all are setting them up to have, because that's what's going on. And so she tells Michael, which was weird to me. She says, "Michael, will you stay with Wiley and TJ? You were going to the hospital, right? Can you come with me? Can you take me to the hospital?" And I said, "Why you just won't take Wiley to the hospital and tell the babysitter meet you at the hospital?" Whatever. I'm not in it. I'm just reviewing it. And so and TJ is like, "Yeah, I'll take you." And Michael's like, "Okay." So then, oh shoot, did I put him in here? Oh shoot, nope, I didn't. My bad, y'all. But let's go back to this old picture. So then we see Nina and Sonny talk, right? So when Nina and Sonny are talking, she tells him, "Okay, you're not gonna get any more TV, ma'am, if you keep unplugging it." When Nina and Sonny are talking, she tells him, he said, "Why were you so willing to get out of there so fast?" And she said, "Because I don't want to cause any waves." And he was like, "What you mean?" Because this is the way she said it. And she says, "Listen, I don't want to get you into it." And he said, "Well, you said something, now tell me." And she said she thinks TJ and Willow got something going on. He said, "No, I've known TJ forever. He's not a cheater." She said, "Sonny, good people do bad things sometimes." And he said, "Willow and TJ, I just don't see it." And she said, "That's why I didn't want to tell you, because I didn't want you feeling like you had to tell Michael, and I didn't want you feeling weird around them whenever you got around them." He said, "Oh, that's what we're not going to do. We will not be telling Michael anything." And of course, Michael hears this and says, "You won't be telling me any what?" And I said, "Son, go to the hospital and be with your wife, because you don't have Wiley with you. So the nanny has come. So instead of always trying to get into it with Sonny, go to the hospital." Dang. It's frustrating at this point. Then Esme is sitting around in the study and everything in Nicholas' office, and she is trying to figure out how she can get out of here. And Nicholas comes in and he said, "What you doing?" She said, he said, "Oh no, you trying to open up the window so that you can scream." He said, "We pay these people for discretion. Ain't nobody gonna help you, girl." And then he tells her, "So you might as well, stay here, because nobody can hear you screaming. And even if they could, they won't help you. So I don't know what you think you got going on, but you're gonna be right here until until I figure out how this gonna work." That's what I heard. He don't know what he gonna do, but he knows she ain't getting out there, that room. So then the next thing we know, we see Anna, Laura, and Valentine, because Anna is in there, and Laura comes. She says, "Oh my gosh, is everything okay? Did you get Charlotte? And what about Valentine?" And Valentine comes, and they say he lets her know they kiss, and he lets her know Charlotte is safe. She's at Anna's. She's at Laura's place with Kevin, so she's good. She's safe. And they were like, "Oh, thank God." So then Laura is like, "What is going on?" So Anna starts filling her in. And Laura says, "Okay, I'm about to go over to Robert's now." So she leaves Valentine and Anna to talk. And he tells her, "I'm gonna get you out of here," because he said, "You can't go to prison. You're in the law. Like you got a target on your head. If you go to prison, it would be ma'am. It would be a matter of time before they would get you." And she said, "Honestly, Victor could probably get me while I'm here if he really wanted to." So she's like, "Yeah, so I already got a target on my head." But anyways, Valentine said, "I'm gonna work all this out. Don't worry about it." And so then this security guard comes through, and I'm not gonna lie, he's a big one. I said, "Anna can't take him down," because she said, "You're here to take me to Pentonville." And I said, "Wouldn't Dante do that?" And he be taking everybody else. And he says, "No, you're not going to Pentonville." I said, "Uh-oh. Is this Valentine's plan or Victor's?" Lord, Anna, you gonna have to fight today, girl. So then we see Finn and Valentine, because when Finn was talking to Heather Weber, and then he see Valentine, and he like, "Go on." And I said, "No, Finn, you need to listen to Heather, because she's trying to tell you something, but you won't listen to her, because like she said, everybody just sees her as crazy Heather, and they don't pay attention." So then he and Valentine talking. He said, "Remember we said about getting Anna out?" And he was like, "Yeah." He said, "We're gonna have to move that plan up faster, like expedite it." And she's like, "Okay." And he's like, "Okay." So they just gonna work on it. So then Finn talks to Terry, and he tells Terry, "I know y'all didn't go on a spa. I know where y'all were." And she said, "Listen, you're gonna have to talk to Elizabeth. If you want answers, talk to Elizabeth about it." And he says, "Okay." So then we see Terry comes into her office, and Michael ain't never there. TJ and Willow are there, and she says, Dr. Ash, is it Ashford? No, Ashby. And he says, Willow says, "Well, I wanted him here until Michael get here." Girl, Michael ain't showing up. And so she just tell her that you have stage 4. Your diagnosis has went to stage 4. I think what is it? She got leukemia. And so, because it expanded her kidneys and her livers. And I said, "Lord, Willow." I mean, I let me stop, because I really don't like Willow. I don't want to die, but I don't care. Let's move on. So then we see Holly. And I said, "Robert, when you gonna stop trusting this woman?" So he's in the office with her, and she said she takes Victor, that because he says, "Where are we on this?" And she says, "Trying to get more information, stand by." And so, because he wants to know about Anna. And so she's talking to Robert, and she says, "Is there any more information on how you can get her out?" Well, while she's doing this, um we see Victor, and Victor is like, "I'm starting to lose my patience with you." So Victor is losing his patience, and he goes in because he's at Windermere, and he sees Nicholas. And Nicholas like, "What are you doing here?" He was like, "Well, I was looking for me a room." And Nicholas said, "I don't have time for you right now. I'm busy." And so then Victor started talking about, "We need to unite the family, and there's something coming for us, and we need to be united front." And Nicholas said, because Nicholas is thinking about, "I got this woman locked up in my place. I kidnapped her, and she's having my baby. Um, I don't have time for any of this uh gibberish that you were talking. So unless you're gonna tell me about the plans, save it." And he said, "Well, wait a minute. I should have known. I wasted my time on Valentine. I think like you're the one I should have been talking to, the heir apparent and all that." So he was about to tell Nicholas what was going on, but before he could do that, we go back to um Robert and Holly, because Deputy Ashford comes in. Deputy Mayor Ashby comes in, and she's like, "Oh, Robert, I heard that you're trying to look into things in regards to getting Anna released. You're like making phone calls." And he was like, "I can make phone calls. I'm not on the case." And she says, "As long as I'm mayor, I will have you removed from your position." And so then Laura comes in and Laura says, "Oh, really? Is that what we're doing?" She was like, "I have returned." And she was like, "Oh, it's so good to see you." This is the deputy mayor. "It's so good to see you." She said, "Yes." And she said, "And I want you to know, the public loves Robert, as well as I'm a close friend with him, because the deputy mayor was telling him elections coming up. How would the public feel if they knew you were showing Anna special treatment?" And so now Holly is there through all of this. And and Laura is looking at Holly because she's like, "Oh my gosh, you're alive." And she asking Holly, "How are you? How did this happen?" And Holly says, "I don't have any memory." And she says, "Oh, no, no, no. I'll tell Kevin to work with you and he can help you out." And Holly's like, "No." And then Laura was like, and she said, Holly's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just overwhelmed with everything that's going on." Okay. So then why am I calling this girl Anna? So Laura tells Robert, "Walk me out, Robert." So then Holly and Ashby talk, and Ashby said, "You almost ruined it for us all." She said, "I don't know if you're a believer or just a hired help." I said, "A believer in what, ma'am? What are we believing in?" And so then we see, that's it with them, y'all. So then we see Anna. Lord have mercy. Y'all forgive me. Why am I calling this woman Anna? We see Laura and Robert talk, and she tells him, "I don't trust Holly." But of course, Robert's nose is wide open when it comes to Holly. So he says, "No, no, no, no. She all good. You could trust her." She said, "All right, well, I trust you. So if you trust Holly, that's it." But she said, "But Holly is known to get mixed up. And I feel like it's real big of a coincidence that she just pops up with no memory around this time. And he took me out. He tried to take me out. Victor, this is. She tried to take Anna out, Lucy out, and now Holly just Luke. He took Luke out. I don't know. And Robert's just like, "Just trust me." And she's all right. So he go back into the office, and Ashby leaves or whatever. So it's just Robert and Holly at that point, and she says, "I feel like Laura doesn't trust me." And he says, "No, because of your past, she doesn't." And he said, "But I trust you, and that's all that matters." So they hug or whatever. And I feel like Robert is starting to be like, he don't trust her either. Because Robert, why your phone just wasn't turned on the other day? And why she keep wanting to know everything about the cat? Like, Robert, you can't be this dumb. I refuse to believe it. And so then we see, because we pick back up with Victor when he was telling Nicholas, I should have been trusting you. And he says he gets a phone call, right? And it's somebody telling him, Johan telling him, "Charlotte gone." And he said, "What you mean, Charlotte gone? Where is she? Who took her?" And then Anna says, "Hi, Victor." Oh my God, I just called this woman Anna again. Then Laura says, "Hi, Victor. I'm back. Are you happy to see me or surprised to see me?" And then Esme in the back, she trying to use a sheet to climb out the window. I said, "Girl, you're pregnant. Stop it." And y'all, that was General Hospital today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you tomorrow for an all new episode of What Happened on the Soaps General Hospital edition. I will be going live on Friday, 7 p.m. Central, 8 Eastern, 5 o'clock on the West Coast. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.